What's good, beautiful people? This is your girl Divine Karma coming in with the message on tonight. Well, this morning. I think it's like 2 o'clock in the morning right now. I send you peace, light, love, and harmony as I always do about this time. Why? Because Divine Karma loves you, baby. We need to talk about your dark night of the soul. Before you do anything, make sure you are subscribed to the channel, all right? If you are not familiar with a dark night of the soul is, please do your homework. For those of you that know, I have information from your guides and angels because I truly believe when I do readings that whoever needs to hear it, I will hear it. But there's information you need to know about your dark night of the soul. All right, so let's jump into this thing. There's information about why it happened, who and all kinds of interesting things. 36, which is a 9, distant horizons. For some of you, your guides and angels want you to know. Some of you went through a dark night of the soul because you needed to physically move or physically leave somewhere, that you were. If you have not already seen why, for some of you, you'd be like, yep, I know why. Better job, or I found the love of my life. But there's an energy about you needed to physically move and leave somewhere and go somewhere else. And that is why you went through this dark night of the soul. For some of you, it has something to do with your, geographicals, your location, right? For many of you, you went through this dark night of the soul because also there were some attachments where you were, and you may have seen the red flags that your guides and angels was, trying to give you at the moment. But a lot of you went through a dark night of the soul, and part of it was because of where you were. Number 16, which is the 7 thoughts. A lot of you knew. A lot of you knew. And when I say you knew you needed to walk away from someone and physically move to somewhere else, you knew. And for some of you, it was because of someone that you were with. And it's like the divine and your angels kept sending you lesson after lesson after lesson. And sometimes when that happens and we don't pay attention to lessons, that's when we end up with these dark nights of the soul. Because your soul is listening to your guides and angels, but you are refusing to adhere. And for some of you, you knew. You knew something was off. You felt something was off. For some of you, I'm also channeling, there's this energy of some of you had a lot of mental blockages at this time. For some of you, you felt like someone else was controlling your life, like somebody was in your head, controlling your life and telling you what to do and what not to do, right? Your guides and angels intervened at this time. A dark night of the soul, you hear me talk about lessons and exams. In my perspective, your dark night of the soul is when all the lessons that you've been getting, you ain't passed none of them. You keep getting F's on everything, right? So the divine and your angels and guides say, okay, well, we can fix this. We're going to put them in this state until they have no choice but to deal with themselves and to know themselves and to, and to look at things from a soul perspective. I'm picking up this energy like somebody, like maybe went to, check themselves in, thought they was crazy. Like there's something mental also that was going on at this time for some of you. Concern. This wanted to come out when I was shuffling the deck. Number 33. Some of you, I am picking up, literally may have got checked into a mental facility. And if that is so, I send you so much love. But the energy is very strong on me because some of you, your dark night of the soul included, you were so down and out that you were saying things and doing things that people could not understand. Your family was very concerned. Everybody was worried about you. I am picking up heavy that some of you or someone went to a mental facility. Some of you, your family was very involved in this dark night of the soul because they side-eyed you on every decision that you made. I'm also picking up for some of you, your family literally was a major part of your dark night of the soul. Because I'm going to tell you something. Some of you, your dark night of the soul, you had to realize that family don't always mean y'all share DNA. Whoever this is, I'm picking up, like went to a mental facility or something like that. Yeah, it was somebody in your family that kicked it off. Older male. hmm I'm also picking up there was something about some of you, if it wasn't you that went to a facility. I'm also picking up some of you may have had someone transition, someone in your family or close to you transition. They got put in a facility and transitioned. And it was a lot of devious energy behind that. A lot of devious energy behind that. People were plotting and planning, and for some of y'all, it's still stuff y'all don't know. If that was your story, it's still stuff you don't know right now that happened behind the scenes. It, I can't make this up. Can't make it up. Some of y'all were in a mental facility. Some of y'all was locked up. Period. Some of you had to go to prison or some kind of facility. It's crazy because y'all see you heard what I was talking about, and this card came out. It was part of your dark night of the soul. For some of you, this imprisonment, for those of you, some of you wronged some people. And I'm picking up the energy. It was because of how you grew up, the environment you were in. There was a lot of lack of love, if that makes sense. And a lot of you went to prison, and it was part of your dark night of the soul. You needed that time. And for some of you, I'm picking up the imprisonment part is you, as some of you, your imprisonment was far away from your friends and family. Because your guides and angels needed to get you completely away from it. This was part of your karma. Some of y'all had a lot of karma on your dark night of the soul. A lot of it. Because of, I'm picking up some mistreatment towards some people, mistreated some people, maybe took some things from some people. I'm also picking that up. But again, for some of you, it was a mental facility. Dark night of the soul. It had to happen. Bottom of the deck, privileged lady. Some of you, your dark night of the soul. Oh, some of you, your dark night of the soul. You grew up with money, and you didn't. Your relationship with money, was not good. Was not good. And I hate to use good and bad, but that's like the only word that I got. So when it came to money and how your energy with money, some of you look down on people that didn't have money. Dark night of the soul. I just thought about that movie with Eddie Murphy when him and whoever that was switched places. Remember when he was a bum and like sleeping on the streets, and there was this rich guy and they switched places? They just came to mind. Let's get some more messages about your dark night of the soul from your guides and angels. Brilliant beliefs, number 45, luminous life force and personal power. Some of you, your dark night of the soul was when you had to come out of your belief systems and religion. Many of you had to, you grew up in a household that was religious, and some of you, your dark night of the soul was to figure out how to believe in God and move how God would move instead of putting all your energy into the religion. There's a difference. A lot of you went through a dark night of the soul because you had to realize that God, Source, Allah, Buddha, Yah, whoever that is already inside of you. You are a fractal of Source, right? Some of you had to go through that dark night of the soul. Some of y'all was real religious and was very judgy with people because they didn't, read the book that you read or didn't believe in your beliefs. Some of y'all, your whole belief system had to shift. For some of you, your dark night of the soul was because you kept looking for all the answers and looking for God outside of yourself. Spirit, give me some more messages. You have number 44, harvest. So some of y'all might be seeing 444, gathering of blessings. I'm telling you right now, some of you grew up with money. And Spirit had to show you and you look down on people that did not have money. And Spirit had to humble your damn soul. When I say humble your soul, I mean had to humble your soul. Number 39, miracles, ancient wisdom. A lot of you, again, your dark night of the soul had a lot to do with how you grew up in your religious beliefs. A lot of you got into a lot of esoteric and sacred knowledge. Started studying, your dark night of the soul, for many of you had to do with you not just understanding what a miracle is, but understanding you being here is a miracle in itself. And again, moving away from all these religious beliefs and really tuning into source or God. Because there's like you was looking for everything outside of you. I'm also hearing that some of you, your dark night of the soul, because you would not take accountability for where you were in life. Some of you started studying ancient books, ancient wisdom, Kemet, Lemuria, Atlantis. Idyllic times, the garden, paradise, number 48. I don't know who the energy is. Your dark night of the soul is about money. But some of you literally grew up in this paradise with money and like your life was a whole fairy tale. And Spirit really needed to humble you. Like that energy is still coming out. You lived in a paradise. And you look down on people. You like I literally just heard somebody like having a conversation when you was in this going through this dark night of the soul and in this energy. Like somebody told you that they make minimum wage and you laughed in their face. Like that type of energy. I see it clear as day. And let me tell you something. When I tell you Spirit had to come in and humble your soul. Bottom of the deck, grateful optimism, joyous view of the future. After that was loss, lack, victimization. I told you, river of blessing. I told you, a lot of you, you wasn't grateful for the money you had. You wasn't grateful. It was like you didn't care. you were judgy. You look down on poor people. You look, you a lot of y'all dark night of the soul, you would ride past homeless people and just, it wouldn't even faze you. Spirit had to humble you. Give me some more messages, Spirit. Myra Bayai, and I probably pronounced that wrong. The saint of true freedom. Love is what sets me free. I am married to my own soul. Some of you, your dark night of the soul was you feeling lonely as heck. And I mean lonely. And it's the type of lonely to where your dark night of the soul was some of you always had to have people around you because you always felt lonely. And your dark night of the soul came in because you would have all these people around you and still feel lonely. You would have all these people around you and still did not experience what freedom is because you did not realize that it came from within. So a lot of you had all these people around you, and a lot of them took advantage of you. A lot of them, did you wrong, that whatever it had, whatever, because you did not understand what true love is and that it comes from within. It says, I'm married to my own soul. Some of you, I heard your dark night of the soul is some of y'all married for money and you had to learn the lesson. Some of y'all married. Thank you, Divine. If you live in a country to where arranged marriages happen, hmm, hmm. In Hedwana, the high priestess. I am one with my soul, and my soul is a legacy of love. Let me tell y'all something. With these two cards coming out, some of y'all, your dark night of the soul was you didn't even know what love is. A lot of y'all, you went through a dark night of the soul because you kept thinking that love always had to come from something else or someone else, and you was always seeking that. Your dark night of the soul, you had to realize that the love that you are seeking is inside of you, always has been. Bottom of the deck, Fatima, the mother of Imams. Love is my lineage, and gratitude is my religion. What I tell you. Some of y'all was in that privileged lady energy. Some of y'all was in that privileged lady energy, looked down on people that had less than, and a lot of you went through a dark night of the soul because you had no gratitude. The gratitude card wasn't grateful for what you had. Was not. Some of y'all grew up with money. Honey, y'all dark night of the soul. If it ain't came, it's coming. And she says, love is my lineage. Some of y'all, I'm also picking up your dark night of the soul. For some of you, and this ain't for everybody, there were some past lives to where, for some of you, I don't know, something happened with children to where you mistreated them or were not a good parent. And when you came back into this life and reincarnated, part of your soul contract was to grow up in that type of household so you would know what it feels like so you can balance your karma account out. So give me some more messages, please. Give me some more messages, please. Let's talk about once you've gone through this dark night of the soul, once you've realize what this was, then turn yourself around and learn the lessons from your dark night of the soul. Give me some message from their guides and angels once they have went through this dark night of the soul. Forgiveness. Forgive yourself and others to free your heart. Part of you, your test, your dark night of the soul. To wrap up your dark night of the soul, your guides and angels are saying to forgive. Forgive yourself, forgive other people. You don't worry about karma. That's it. She ain't got no applications out. She ain't hiring nobody. She's a one woman band. Forgive and move on. More messages from your guides and angels about this dark night of the soul, please, Spirit. Abundance. Abundance flows to those who believe in its presence. For a lot of you, your dark night of the soul, if it was the financial, situation I talked about, and you like, man, I need to get back to, once you put the work in and you coming out of your dark night of the soul and you've learned the lesson, abundance will come when you believe in its presence. And when I say abundance, part of y'all, your dark night of the soul is realizing money is not always attached to abundance. Abundance can be anything. An abundance of love, an abundance of wealth, an abundance of happiness. Success. Believe that success is within your reach. Some of y'all, this dark night of the soul knocked y'all on your butt. It really, really did. And if you're wondering, the outcome and will things get back to, yes, they will. Success is on the horizon for you if you learned your lesson during this dark night of the soul and coming out of your dark night of the soul. Patience. Good things come to those who wait. Be patient. Just because you think you didn't pass the exam, we all know who, well, not who, but what energy has the final say so if you pass this exam or not. If it's time for you to come out of this dark night of the soul, be patient with your guides and angels. Be patient with the divine, right? Everything is in divine order. Everything happens for a reason. Detachment. Let go of attachment to outcomes. Stop trying to control the outcome. When you try to control the outcome of everything, you are literally telling your guides and angels, I don't need your help. I can do this on my own. Let go of the outcome. Detach yourself from the outcome, right? When you're going through a dark night of the soul, the outcome is not the main goal. It is the journey of the dark night of the soul and learning the lessons, right? That is the essence of the dark night of the soul. Let go of trying to analyze the outcome and control the outcome. Let your guides and angels and God do their job. Trust. Trust the process and your journey. Wow. Love yourself. I'm going to drop this off here. No? No? Okay. Good. They saying get some tarot. All right, guides and angels, let's close this out with some tarot. Some final messages to my collective. Six of Pentacles, Earth energy. For some of you, this dark night of the soul is going to bring you a financial blessing. There's going to be reciprocity. For some of you, this could be, love as well. But for a lot of you, your life is going to change when it comes to how you look at money and your relationship with money, currency, and wealth, right? The Chariot card, Cancer energy. This dark night of the soul for a lot of you, again, is about moving. The Chariot is also about success. So, you got the success card here. Things are going to turn around. And for a lot of you, this dark night of the soul was because you need to physically move. One more card, please, Spirit. The Tower. There is a Tower moment coming. For a lot of you, that is for those of you that bottom of the deck, the Star card, healing. Page of Cups, yeah, some apologies are definitely coming, but you need to heal. This Tower moment is for those of you that feel like you still want to control the outcome. You still in that energy of, I'll do it when I want to do it. You still in the energy of, man, it can't be that bad. It's going to get that bad. It's going to get that bad if you do not let go and detach yourself from the outcome. For some of you, your dark night of the soul is hideous because there's been so many messages sent to you. There's been so many dreams. There's been so many premonitions. There's been so many synchronicities. Spirit keeps sending you the same lesson over and over, and you keep failing every time. So if that's you, if you sitting there and you know you're supposed to have walked away from something a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, your Tower moment's coming. For those of you that will not, will just take any job, and Spirit has been giving you 9 million messages to step into your life purpose, your Tower moment is coming, right? For those of you that are on your high horse and have no empathy, or this money thing, you look down on people that are not as wealthy. And I'm picking up this heavy energy that for some of you, there's been multiple opportunities, like for you to give to charity. Maybe some people, some charity organizations came across your desk, or there's something about an energy about charity, and you like, I ain't giving my money to them people. Now, they probably gonna do this, that, and the third. True enough, do your research on before giving to charity. But there's somebody specific that you've been turning your nose up on charity. Oh, trust me, honey, your Tower moment is coming. For the rest of you, for passing your exam, and look forward to your reciprocity and your new energy with money and love, and having reciprocity energetically in your life in every arena. All right, this is your girl Divine Karma. Y'all know the drill. I love you, and I love it when you love me back. I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.